This is Generation Loss Mark II, a pedal that captures the magic of working with magnetic tape of all shapes and sizes. Within it are in fact two pedals, the well-known Classic mode and an all-new Mark II mode built from scratch. We're going to focus on the new Mark II stuff today, but don't worry, we'll go over the Classic functions too. You can think of GenLoss as a deconstructed tape machine with dedicated and discrete controls for each of the oddities and artifacts that make working with tape so special. This video manual will get you up and running in no time. Let's get started by having a look at how to get a signal in and out of the pedal. GenLoss will gladly affect both mono and stereo signals. The default setting is mono in, mono out, and if that's your routing scenario, then you're good to go. If you'd like to process a stereo signal, just use a TRS cable for the input and output. GenLoss is smart enough to know what you're doing and adapt. If you'd like to split a mono signal out to stereo, use the MISO dip switch, which stands for mono in, stereo out. If you're using either of the stereo options we just discussed, consider using the spread dip switch. When it's engaged, GenLoss will process each channel uniquely to create a moving stereo image. Let's explore the Mark II controls, and then we'll circle back and talk about what's different in Classic mode. WOW sets the depth of slow, smooth, random pitch modulation. Your classic tape-style motion like an unpredictable vibrato. Flutter sets the intensity of fast, twitchy random modulation, affects both amplitude and pitch, giving the impression of quivering, trembling tape. Saturate recreates a unique form of magnetic saturation that occurs when loud signals are recorded to tape. Failure gradually introduces a number of small malfunctions that naturally occur in tape machines and give them that living feel. Snags, drops, crinkles, and pops. Failure is also responsible for the stereo processing you'll get when the spread dip switch is on. Volume sets the output level of the wet signal, noon is unity, max is boosted by double. Model steps through a library of tape machine models, each with its own unique EQ profile. VCRs, cassette decks, camcorders, and more, each one designed through frequency analysis of physical hardware. Let's talk about the 3 toggles in the middle of the pedal. Aux selects one of 3 performance effects, which is activated by the left foot switch. Stop is a tape stop effect. Filter bypasses the selected tape model. Fail maxes out aspects of the failure knob, resulting in major malfunction. The dry toggle sets the volume of your clean signal, set to none for a pure tape machine, or small to drop in just a touch of clean, keeping the tape effect dominant but creating a bigger and more detailed sound. Unity matches the clean signal with your input level. This is useful for chorusing, and it can also be interesting to pair with more extreme settings that are dialed back in volume to sit subtly beneath your dry signal. The noise toggle allows for various amounts of noise and hum to affect your signal. There are a few different flavors of noise to choose from, and they can be set to taste with some hidden options that we'll discuss soon. The bypass foot switch, of course, activates and deactivates the effect. The aux foot switch activates the performance effect selected by the aux toggle switch. A short tap latches, and a longer hold will activate the effect momentarily and deactivate when you release. The toggle between the stop switches allows for recalling either of the onboard presets. In the middle, the pedal will honor the current knob and switch positions. Classic mode preserves the legacy gen loss sounds and controls. For the most part, Classic and Mark II controls are identical, with 2 exceptions. First, 3 of the knobs will perform the alternate function labeled in gray. And second, an additional performance effect is enabled by selecting Fail with the toggle and engaging the drop bypass and snag bypass dip switches. This is the freeze effect, and it captures and holds the last played sound indefinitely. Which you can then process with GenLoss's other effects. LP stands for low pass and sets the cutoff value of a resonant low pass filter. HP stands for high pass and sets the cutoff frequency of a resonant high pass filter. Gen sets the sample rate. Roll counterclockwise to degrade the audio quality and introduce digital aliasing. The spread dip switch also introduces a different kind of stereo movement in classic mode. Instead of the glitchy motion of the Mark II mode, you'll get smooth panning linked to the wow knob. Just like Mark II, classic mode is a compilation of parts that can be isolated and dialed in to taste. A filtered chorus, a sample rate reducer, it's entirely up to you. GenLoss has some hidden options which allow for deeper customization of many of its functions. You can access these by holding down both foot switches until the LEDs turn green, and then adjusting the knob or switch of whatever parameter you want to change. Here are some things you can customize. The wow knob adjusts the onset time of your chosen aux effect. The farther clockwise, the longer it will take for the effect to take place. The flutter knob adjusts the volume of the hiss introduced by the noise toggle. The saturate knob sets the volume of the mechanical noise introduced by the noise toggle. Noon is 0. Rotate clockwise for hum. Counterclockwise for VCR noise. The failure knob adjusts the volume of the crinkle and pop sounds introduced by the failure effect. The model knob allows you to select between two different bypass modes. Clockwise of noon, the pedal will be in DSP bypass mode, meaning that your clean signal will be digital through even when the pedal is bypassed. This allows for click-free switching. Rotating counterclockwise of noon will shift the pedal into true bypass mode. This is the default. The dry toggle is an input gain control, which allows you to match the saturation to your input source's volume level. Left for line level, middle for instrument level, and right for high gain. One last thing, longtime Gen Loss users may remember the noise mod, and in classic mode, the failure knob's hidden option sets the level of this dynamic noise. You can also further tailor Gen Loss's characteristics with the customized dip switches on the back of the pedal. When dry type is engaged, all of the pedal's effects except wow and flutter will be applied to your dry signal. This makes it possible to create saturated, malfunctioning chorus effects. Drop bypass removes the volume drops from the effect of the failure knob. Snag bypass removes the pitch warping from the effect of the failure knob. This leaves only the more subtle crinkles and pops behind. Hum bypass removes the mechanical noise from the effect of the noise toggle. The rest of Generation Loss's dip switches are for configuring external control or internal modulation, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Try experimenting with various combinations of these dip switches. It's fun. So that's it. You're up and running with Generation Loss. Go on, get out there and see just how much you can lose.